Hayakumullah. Okay. So the stream is live. Hope everyone's good, inshallah. Bismillah, salatu salam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban. I welcome everyone to another session of the Tajweed class. And today, inshallah, it's the sixth session, inshallah. We're going to be talking about al-Meem as-Saakinah. Ahkaam al-Meem as-Saakinah, the rulings of Meem with Sukoon. So last time, the last lesson that we had in Ramadan, we covered Ahkaam al-Noon as-Saakinah. So the rulings of Noon as-Saakinah with Tanween. Okay? So the rulings of Noon with Sukoon and the rulings of Tanween. And both have the same rulings because the Tanween, in essence, is a Noon with Sukoon. And we mentioned the four different rulings: Idhar, Idgham, Ikhfa and Iqlab. Okay? Now there's also another letter that has these sort of special rulings, and it's the letter Meem. Now, what do the letter Noon and Meem have in common such that they have these special rules? Okay? Well, whoever knows can answer in the chat. And as a matter of fact, I might as well give you the WooClap link. 1 second. So you'll find the WooClap link in the chat. Post in the chat. Okay, so yeah. So the question was, what do Noon and Meem have in common such that they have these special rulings? It's the Ghunnah. It's the fact that the Noon and the Meem are the only two letters in the Arabic alphabet that have two articulation points. The normal articulation point, where for the Noon it's the tip of the tongue under the palate, on the palate, and the Meem coming from your lips. But they also have a secondary articulation point, which is the Ghunnah, the nasal sound. Okay? That's why they have these special rulings. And today's session about Ahkaam al-Meem, Ahkaam Meem as-Saakinah, it's not much different from Ahkaam al-Noon as-Saakinah that we've done last time. It's very similar to what we've done last time. Okay? So the first thing is that Ahkaam al-Meem as-Saakinah, then what is it? What's the definition? What do we mean by Ahkaam al-Meem as-Saakinah? What does Meem as-Saakinah mean? Well, Meem as-Saakinah, it means a Meem with Sukoon, right? That's what it means, a Meem with Sukoon. And we're not talking about the Sukoon which you sometimes pronounce. We're talking about the Sukoon that's always there. Okay? As opposed to the Sukoon that a Meem might have just because you done waqf, because you stopped. So for example, you might have the word, for example, let's say Meem as-Saakinah, this one itself. Let's use this Meem over here. So Ahkaam al-Meem, Ahkaam al-Meem, al-Meem as-Saakinah. That's how it would be in Arabic, yes? But if you stop here, it would be Ahkaam al-Meem. Okay, so this Meem would have a Sukoon, but that Sukoon is because we stopped there. That's not the Sukoon we're talking about. We're talking about the Sukoon that's always there, regardless if you continue, yes, you do wasl, or if you do waqf, you stop. Okay, the Sukoon that's always there. In other words, a Meem that does not have a Fatha, Kasra or Dhamma. Okay, because one of the ways to define Sukoon is a letter without Haraka. A letter without Fatha, Kasra or Dhamma, it automatically has Sukoon. طيب, that's the Meem as-Saakinah. What are its rulings? Then we have three rulings. Ahkaam Meem as-Saakinah has three rulings: Idgham, Ikhfa, and Idhar. Okay? Ahkaam Noon as-Saakinah had four rulings. Which one is missing here? Which one's missing here? You can answer in the chat. Which one's missing here? So we have Idgham, Ikhfa, and Idhar. Which one is missing? If we compare it to the Ahkaam of Noon as-Saakinah, then the one that is missing is what? Iqlab. Okay? So there's no Iqlab. Iqlab basically when Noon is followed by a Ba, it becomes a Meem. So that's when it comes to last time's lesson, Ahkaam Noon as-Saakinah. There's something called Iqlab. We don't have that when it comes to Ahkaam Meem as-Saakinah, but we have the other three: the Idgham, the Ikhfa, and the Idhar. What are the definitions of these three things? Okay, then to refresh your minds, Idgham is when you completely jump the letter and you join it to the letter that follows it. Okay, Ikhfa is Idhar. Idhar is when you pronounce the letter the way it should be pronounced, you make it clear. And Ikhfa is basically something in between the two. Ikhfa, okay, the definition of Ikhfa is what? Is that it's something in between Idgham and Idhar. Neither are you pronouncing it clearly, and neither are you fully jumping the letter. Okay, so that's Ikhfa. Okay, and we'll talk about the Ikhfa that relates to Meem as-Saakinah in a moment. Okay. طيب. Idgham. Let's start with the Idgham. Definition of Idgham is that we jump the first letter and we join to the next. And this happens when it comes to Meem as-Saakinah only in one occasion. When it comes to Ahkaam Meem as-Saakinah, Ahkaam al-Meem as-Saakinah, there's only one situation when there is Idgham. That's when the Meem is followed by a Meem. That's when the Meem is followed by a Meem. Let's see some of the examples, okay? So here we have al-Hukm al-Thani. We mentioning it first here. They mentioned it in the book here. They mentioned it second. But we decided to start with the Idgham first. So example here is خلق لكم ما في الأرض. خلق لكم. Okay, now let's write this down. Let's write this down. خلق لكم. خلق. Okay, without the harakat. Okay, خلق لكم ما. Okay, now this Meem here, it has a shadda. Okay, one moment. Okay, so this Meem here has a shadda. Okay, خلق لكم ما. Okay, now the question is, how many memes are there here? How many memes are there here? So you can answer that question in Woo Clap. Let me answer the question in Woo Clap. How many memes do we have in that word? Okay, خلق لكم ما. So this here over here, this is obviously where the Idgham is. How many memes do we have there? How many memes do we have here? Okay, some of you said 2. Some of you said 3. Okay, alright. If we were to say there are 2 memes here, okay, let's say there are 2 memes. If there are 2 memes here, then Idgham means we jump the first one, right? That's what Idgham means. So that means we wouldn't be pronouncing this one over here. We would not pronounce it. Okay? Okay, so if we don't pronounce this one, this Meem, and we only pronounce this one if it's one Meem, so we have 2, the first and the second, then how would it sound? It would be خلق لكما. That's how it would sound. Because this Meem has a fatha. Okay, so for those of you that said there are two memes, then this would be pronounced as خَلَقَ لَكُمَا. Okay, so that's wrong. There's not two memes here. We in essence have three memes here. And that's because we have a shadda over here. Okay, and a shadda means doubling of the consonant. So in essence, this is what we have. Okay, so a meme with sukoon followed by another meme with sukoon followed by a meme with fatha. Okay, so when we do idgham, we are jumping the first meme. And we are joining the dhamma on top of this kaf over here. We're joining it to this meme over there, which is then followed by another meme. So that's what explains why we have two counts. That's why we have a ghunnah that is long, a ghunnah that is clear, a ghunnah that is, obvious. Why? Because we got two memes, not just one. So خَلَقَ لَكُم مَّا خَلَقَ لَكُم مَّا. Okay, خَلَقَ لَكُم مَّا. Two memes. Okay, so in essence there were three memes, but because of idgham we've left with two memes. Okay, alright, and this is what is meant with idgham. If it wasn't for idgham, then the ghunnah would be really, really long, because then we would have three memes. Okay, but it's just a rule in the Arabic language that you have to get used to, which is in the Arabic language you cannot have two letters with sukoon pronounced at the same time. It's called iltiqa'u as-Saakinayn. We've covered that in the Quran reading course, and we said that whenever you have two sukoons following each other, you get rid of the first one. Okay, that's what idgham is. So idgham, like I've said many times before, it's not something that is specific to Ahkaam al-Noon as-Saakinah or Meem as-Saakinah. It's not even something specific to Tajweed. As a matter of fact, it's not even something specific to the Arabic language. Okay, something you even have in the English language, right? So for example, when you say sit down, you say to someone sit down, you got idgham here, because you're not saying sit down, you're saying sit down. Instead of the T, you're pronouncing two Ds. Okay, that's idgham. Okay, so idgham basically is whenever you have two consonants, two sukoons following each other, then you jump the first one. Okay, so that's idgham. So the only letter with Ahkaam Noon as-Sakinah, we had how many? We had 6 letters. Alright, and we talked about the two contentious ones, the waw and the ya. But when it comes to Ahkaam Meem as-Sakinah, it's only one letter, Meem, that's it. Is that clear before we go on to the ikhfa? Any issues with that? Someone said, I have trouble with idgham. What's the trouble that you have with idgham? Please explain so that we can try and address it, inshallah. طيب. Could you repeat? Repeat what? Just the skipping part. Okay, look, I don't know if you mean, let's not talk about, idgham when it's the same letter, it's a bit confusing. Let's look at idgham when there are two different letters. So let's say, for example, noon followed by ra, idgham. Mir rabbika, mir rabbika. So we should have said, if it wasn't for the idgham, we would be saying min rabbika, min rabbika. We would have pronounced the noon. But when you say mir rabbika, you haven't pronounced the noon. The person listening to you, if he doesn't know Arabic, he wouldn't know there's a noon there that has been omitted. The Arab will know because he knows that mir rabbika is not a word. He fills in the blanks. But someone who doesn't understand the Arabic language, if you asked him, did you hear a noon? He'll say to you, no. I heard a meem followed by a ra. Mir rabbika. And that's what you actually pronounced. That's what idgham basically is. That's what we mean by jumping it. I'm not sure if you attended the Ahkaam Noon as-Saakinah with Tanween class, and those of you that haven't attended that class or haven't watched that video, then yes, things are going to be confusing because we've covered these things in depth in last times, the class we've done in Ramadan. So you're gonna have to return back to that video inshallah and then watch this one, and then things should be clear. Okay? Right. Okay. Next one, we have ikhfa. Ikhfa. And what's the definition of ikhfa? Well, definition of ikhfa is that you're hiding a letter. Okay? And ikhfa is something that is specific to Noon as-Saakinah and Meem as-Saakinah only. And Tanween, of course. Why is that? Because ikhfa basically is when you don't actually pronounce the letter from its original articulation point, but you do preserve the ghunnah. Okay? So ikhfa would have been the exact same as idgham if it wasn't for the fact that the ghunnah is there. Okay? So for example, if we look at the Ahkaam Noon as-Saakinah with Tanween rules we've done last time, if we compare between anfusakum, which is noon followed by fa, okay, or min rabbika, if we compare between the two, then anfusakum, I'm not really putting the tip of my tongue on my palate where the noon should be pronounced. However, when I'm saying anfusakum, you can feel there's a noon there. Why? Because of the nasal sound, because of the ghunnah. Okay? That ghunnah tells you there's an ikhfa, there's a noon here hiding there that's not being pronounced. If it wasn't for the ghunnah, it would have been affusakum, affusakum, affusakum. But we're not saying affusakum, we're saying anfusakum. Okay, so that's ikhfa basically, when you have the ghunnah there, but you don't pronounce the noon from its place. Same thing when it comes to Meem, Ahkaam al-Meem as-Saakinah. We have one occasion where we have ikhfa, an occasion whereby the ghunnah is there, but we don't fully pronounce the letter from its articulation point. Okay? Which is when it comes to the letter ba. The letter ba. Okay? So when it comes to al-idgham, we said it's only for the letter Meem, huh? Okay? When it comes to ikhfa, then it's only for the letter ba. Okay, so basically Meem with sukun followed by ba. Okay, let's look at some of the examples given here in the book. Al-ikhfa. اوكي الحكم الأول الإدغام لا الإخفاء هنا نعم طيب. So here we have an example here which is ومن يعتصم بالله. Okay, let's use this one instead. يوم هم بارزون. Okay, يوم هم بارزون, هم بارزون, هم. You see the ghunnah is giving away that I'm actually saying a noon, a meme, sorry. Barizun, this is ikhfa. Okay, now there is something here that is that needs to be pointed out, and it's very technical, right? Which is, one might argue that Ustad, when I'm saying yawmahum, I'm actually pronouncing the meme from its articulation point. Yes, the ghunnah is there, but Ustad, you said the ikhfa is when we don't pronounce the letter from its normal articulation point, but we preserve the ghunnah. But when you're saying hum barizun, you're actually pronouncing the meme from its articulation point. Now, based on this, some contemporary scholars said we need to have a small amount, we need to leave a small amount of space between the two lips. We shouldn't put the two lips together so that we don't end up pronouncing the Meem from its articulation point. So we say يَوْمَ هُمْ بَارِزُونَ هُمْ بَارِزُونَ. And that's how I learned it as well when I was young, when I was learning Tajweed. But this is actually wrong. Okay, there's no proof for that. There's no proof for leaving a small amount of space between the two lips. Okay, there's no proof for that. So the question still stands, which is, well, that means you're pronouncing Meem from its articulation point. You're saying that's the Meem, Ustad, barizun. Well, the answer to that would be no, not really. I'm not really pronouncing the Meem fully from its articulation point. And the reason for that is that the Meem, the letter Meem, it has something called kaz. It has something called the pushing of the lips together. Yes. And then the lips moving apart. That's what Meem is about. So for example, if I say kam, I'm pushing the two lips together. That's what makes the Meem. Okay? But here, I'm not really pushing the two Meems together. Number one, I'm not really pushing hard. There's no kaz. And also, I'm not letting the Meem go and then pronouncing the ba. Okay? Rather, my two lips coming together is me preparing for the pronunciation of the ba. It's not me pronouncing a Meem. And this is really technical, so please excuse me for that. But I think it's useful to explain so that you don't see some kind of contradiction between how we defined ikhfa last time when it comes to Ahkaam Nun as-Saakinah with Tanween and the ikhfa that we're learning over here. No, it's still the same thing. It still stands, which is ikhfa is when you don't pronounce the letter from its articulation point, but you preserve the ghunnah. Okay, so يَوْمَ هُمْ بَارِزُونَ. This is not pronouncing the Meem from its articulation point. If we were to pronounce the Meem fully, which is the final hukum, which is idhar. Okay, so if it was that we are pronouncing the Meem from its articulation point, which is idhar, then that would necessitate that we let go of the two lips and then pronounce the ba separately. That would sound something like this. يَوْمَ هُمْ بَارِزُونَ. See the difference? يَوْمَ هُمْ بَارِزُونَ. Okay, so that's if we pronounced ikhfa al-shafi or the ikhfa with a Meem Saakinah like that, then one could argue that you are actually pronouncing the Meem. You are actually pronouncing the Meem from its articulation point. Why is it ikhfa? That would be a valid question, but we're not saying that. We're not saying يَوْمَ هُمْ بَارِزُونَ. La. So we're not letting go. We're not opening our lips up again to then pronounce the ba separately. La. يَوْمَ هُمْ بَارِزُونَ. This is the actual pronunciation of the ba. We're preparing to pronounce the ba. So I hope that's clear. So يَوْمَ هُمْ بَارِزُونَ. That's how it would be with idhar, which is not what we're doing. We're doing ikhfa. So يَوْمَ هُمْ بَارِزُونَ. This is ikhfa. Okay, where we are not actually pronouncing the Meem from its articulation point. طيب, both idgham and ikhfa, not idgham. This particular ikhfa, it's also known as ikhfa shafawi. Okay, so this ikhfa is known as ikhfa shafawi. Why is it called ikhfa shafawi? Shafa means lips. So this is ikhfa of the lips. This is just a name for this ikhfa, the ikhfa that relates to Meem as-Saakinah, to differentiate it from the ikhfa related to the Noon Saakinah. Okay, so we call it ikhfa shafawi, the ikhfa of the lips. The ikhfa related to the lips, i.e. the letter that is pronounced from the lips, i.e. the Meem. Okay? طيب. Someone said, can you go over the other examples listed there without the ba? which would be, when it comes to the ikhfa, it's only the letter ba. So there are no other examples there without a ba. Unless you mean the next ruling, which is the ruling of idhar. The ruling of idhar relates to all the other letters. So every letter of the Arabic alphabet that comes after the Meem with sukoon, we pronounce it clearly, we do idhar. Okay, so that would be apart from what? That would be excluding. Idhar excludes which two letters? Huh? You can answer that in the chat. Idhar excludes which two letters? Idhar excludes which two letters? Idhar of the Meem, Ahkaam Meem as-Saakinah. It's all of the letters of the Arabic alphabet excluding the ba and the Meem. Yes, ahsantum. All of the letters of the Arabic alphabet excluding the ba and the Meem. The ba is for ikhfa shafawi and the Meem is for idgham. Okay? So all the other letters we do idhar, which is the normal standard default way, no problem. Okay, you just pronounce the Meem the way it should be pronounced. Simple as. However, there are two letters we have to be careful with that most people get wrong. Which two letters do you think they are? So that's when it comes to the idhar. So there are two letters where we need to do idhar, but most people, they get it wrong. So there are two letters we need to pay special attention to. Okay, so what two letters do you think they are? And I know it sounds very difficult, like a difficult question, but it actually is not that difficult if you think about the reason why we wouldn't do idhar. So all these different rulings, iqlab and ikhfa and idgham, why are they there anyway? Okay, so it would cause someone to pronounce a letter that's meant to be idhar as either ikhfa or idgham. What would cause them to do so? Okay, is it also idgham shafawi? No, we don't say idgham shafawi. The reason we don't say idgham shafawi is because idgham, it relates to every single letter in the Arabic alphabet. Every single letter in the Arabic alphabet can have idgham, apart from the alif. Right? So idgham is a universal rule that applies to all of the letters. That's why there's a specific chapter on idgham that we'll cover later. Okay, so if we say idgham shafawi and we only mean the Meem, that would be wrong, because Meem is not the only letter that is pronounced through the lips. Okay, so we don't say idgham shafawi, but ikhfa shafawi, that stands. Why does it stand? Because it's the only time when we do ikhfa. As a matter of fact, ikhfa is a ruling that is specific to the noon and the Meem only. Okay, but idgham is not. Okay, someone said waw and fa. I would like to know why. Okay, so someone said waw and fa. Is one of them noon, fa and waw? Someone said lam and ra. Someone said Meem and noon. Okay. First and foremost, answering these questions, Meem and noon, wrong. The reason it's wrong is because Meem is idgham. Aslan. Meem can't be included here. We're talking about the letters of idhar. The letters of idhar. When it comes to Ahkaam Meem as-Saakinah, Meem as-Saakinah, the letters that are idhar, which we said are all of the letters excluding ba and Meem. So how can you say Meem here? So that's definitely wrong. Someone said, is one of them noon? No, one of them is not noon. Okay, someone said lam and ra. No, not lam and ra. But a lot of you said fa and waw, which is the correct answer. But I want to know why. Why would people get fa and waw wrong when it comes to idhar? Why? Okay, the letters stretch when pronouncing them, yani waw and fa. No. No. While you answer that, let me quickly answer one of the questions by one of the students, which can you go over the other examples listed there without the ba? I said there is no examples listed without a ba because of the fact that in order to be ikhfa shafawi, that has to be a ba. But then it said, it showed وَمَنْ يَعْتَصِمْ. Yes, so that example which is وَمَنْ يَعْتَصِمْ بِاللَّهِ, they brought the example, let me point it out so I can explain it. It was ikhfa. So here, وَمَنْ يَعْتَصِمْ بِاللَّهِ. This example over here is not about this part of the example. It's about the part of يَعْتَصِمْ, which is the meem, billah followed by ba. As far as this is concerned, من يعتصم ومن noon followed by ya, this is related to last time's class. Ahkaam noon as-Saakinah wat-Tanween. This is noon followed by ya. That's not related to today's class. Okay, so that's why I said you can't have an example without a ba, because ikhfa shafawi is only with a ba. And yes, this example does have a ba, and we talked about that. So this is all we are interested in is the meem followed by a ba. As far as the noon followed by ya is concerned, that's related to last time's class, okay? Which happens to be ikhfa, according to what we've covered, or idgham, as is more widely mentioned, okay? Okay, the articulation point is from the lips, because all are from the lips. Its articulation points are the same. Naam. Yes, so that's the reason. Barakallahu feekum. The reason why we need to pay specific attention to the fa and the waw, yes, is because out of the letters that come from the lips, we have four. We have the ba, the fa, the waw, and the meem. The meem obviously that's what we're talking about. That's what the rulings are concerning with. But then we have the ba. The ba we said is ikhfa shafawi. We end up with the fa and the waw. The fa and the waw, they're in close proximity. That's why a lot of people they find that difficult, or they make a mistake there when it comes to the fa and the waw when they follow the meem. Okay, so for example, even it mentions here in the book as well. I can't find it, but let's look at some of the examples here. Idhar, we have أنعمت عليهم. أنعمت عليهم, so meem followed by ta, so we pronounce the meem properly. Idhar, أنعمت عليهم. أنعمت. We have ويمسك السماء. يمسك, we pronounce the meem properly. Or we have, for example, لم تنذرهم. لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون. لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون. How many idhar shafawi do we have there? Who can answer that question? So listen to what I'm saying. لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون. Okay, or let me pronounce it or recite it with Tajweed. لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون. لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون. How many idhar shafawis are there in that example? 3. نعم أحسن, there are 3. There's a meem there followed by lam. لم, that's 1. Then we have lam tundirhum, meem followed by ta. لم tundirhum. Tundirhum ends with a meem, la yu'minun. Tundirhum la. That's the 3rd one. So we have 3 idhar shafawis in one example. Lam tundirhum la yu'minun. Okay, so what would be wrong if somebody were to say this is how it would be wrong, or this is how someone would pronounce it wrong? If they said, for example, lam tundirhum la yu'minun, if they did that, that would be wrong. Okay, that would sound like ikhfa shafawi. Okay, or idgham or whatever. طيب. So the idhar is the easiest. Idhar is the easiest. To give you an example with the fa, hum fiha, hum fiha, hum fiha. So you pronounce the meem properly. Even though fa is close to the Meem in articulation point, you still, it's a bit difficult to do, but you have to make the Meem clear and the fa clear. Hum fiha. Don't say hum fiha, hum fiha, hum fiha. Don't like jump to the fa too quickly. Hum. Release it. Fiha. Hum fiha. Okay. A wow, with the example with the wow, for example, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Alaykum wa rahmatullah. Alaykum wa. Alaykum wa. Okay. طيب. To conclude, how do you recognize these rulings in the Mus'haf? Last time, when we did Ahkaam Noon as-Saakinah with Tanween, I showed you exactly how to recognize these rulings in the Mus'haf. You don't need a color-coded Mus'haf in order to recognize these rulings in the Mus'haf. They are obvious. They can be seen in the Mus'haf. There are ways to recognize each. And it's pretty straightforward. Okay? First one, when it comes to the idgham. Okay, when it comes to the idgham, how would you recognize it? So Meem followed by Meem, or Meem followed by a letter. How would you know that that letter that's following the Meem, you need to do idgham? This is a universal one, universal rule. If the following letter has shadda, it's idgham. Done. Khalas. That applies to everything. Every single letter with sukoon. If it's followed by a letter that has shadda, this is idgham. Don't pronounce that letter that has sukoon. We've covered that in the Quran reading course. This is a universal rule in the Arabic language. So idgham we don't need to worry about. All we need to worry about is how to differentiate between ikhfa and idhar. Okay? Well, obviously, Meem followed by ba, that should be easy enough, right? But let's say you forgot the letter. You forgot which letter should be ikhfa. You're in doubt. The way you would know is the same thing we've mentioned when it comes to the Noon as-Saakinah. If the Meem has the sukoon sign, okay, that sukoon sign that looks like a semicircle, it's idhar, always. That sukoon sign in the Mus'haf, it's used to denote idhar. Okay? So if you look at the Quran, yes, if you come across that sukoon sign, then know that the following letter, or know that that letter has to be pronounced properly, it's idhar. If it doesn't have that sukoon sign, then what is it? Basically it is ikhfa when it comes to Meem. Okay, so let's look at these examples here to see if we can notice. As a matter of fact, let's just go through the Mus'haf actually. Let's go through the Mus'haf and see if we can find some examples in the Mus'haf. Okay, so this is the example we gave earlier. Which was إن الذين كفروا سواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون. As a matter of fact, there's a fourth example here too. In this one ayah actually, we have actually 5 إظهار شفويs. So we have إن الذين كفروا سواء عليهم, this Meem over here. أأنذرتهم, another Meem. أم, another Meem. لم, another Meem. تنذرهم, another Meem. What do all of these Meems have in common? Let's zoom in actually. So how do we zoom in? No, that doesn't work. I need to use the button. Okay. So, what do all these memes have in common? Five idhar shafawis in just one ayah. So we have alayhim. Look at the sukun sign. That means it's idhar. Okay. أأنذرتهم means it's idhar. Means it's idhar. Lam means it's idhar. Tundirhum also idhar. 5 words right after each other, if you like. Even though this is more than one word, but I mean 5, if you like. 5 words, as in if we look at the spaces in between the words, and each one has what ends with idhar shafawi. Okay, let's try and find ikhfa shafawi and idgham. Okay, ختم الله على قلوبهم و look at that, idhar. So that means you have to pronounce the meme properly. ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى him و you have to pronounce the meme. ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى سمعهم إظهار again. سمعهم another إظهار. وعلى أبصارهم غشاوة again another إظهار. غشاوة ولهم عذاب عظيم. So far, only idhars when it comes to the meme. Is that a surprise? No, it's not a surprise. Why? Because out of the 28 letters, 26 of them are idhar. Okay, so the ikhfa shafawi and the idgham shafawi, they're quite rare. Okay, you won't come across them so often. Okay, let's see when we're going to see them. This is obviously right at the beginning of the Quran. There's another half a page before this. I'm not sure if the half a page before this has any of it. Let's just double check. So let's start with Surah Al-Fatiha actually. Alhamdu. What's this? Idhar again. Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahmani, Ar-Rahim, Maliki, Yawmiddin, Iyaka na'budu, Iyaka nasta'in, Ihdina as-Sirat al-Mustaqim, Sirat al-Ladhina na'amta alayhim, Idhar again. غير المغضوب عليهم, Idhar again, ولا الضالين. So here we have 3 idhars, idhar shafawis. Alif Lam Mim, we have ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون. There's no meme with sukun here. Neither is there a meme with sukun. Here we have one. Hum yuqinun, idhar again. أولئك على هدى من ربهم. وأولئك هم المفلحون. So here you can see there's nothing yet. So we'll go back to the next page and continue where we were until we find the first idgham or ikhfa shafawi in the Quran. Okay, so we have في قلوبهم مرض. This is the first what do we have here? As a matter of fact, we need to go back. We jumped actually. سمعهم وعلى أبصارهم غشاوة ولهم عذاب عظيم ومن الناس من يقول آمنا بالله وباليوم الآخر وما هم بمؤمنين. What's this? وما هم بمؤمنين. This is إخفاء شفوي. So our first إخفاء شفوي is in the 8th ayah of Surah Al-Baqarah. وما هم بمؤمنين. Okay, how about إدغام. يخادعون الله والذين آمنوا وما يخدعون إلا أنفسهم. إظهار again. وما يشعرون في قلوبهم مرض. This is the first إدغام شفوي that we have. Now what we need to pay attention here is that this meme doesn't have a sukun sign. This meme doesn't have a sukun sign. Okay, so the sukun sign is specific to what? To idhar. So how do you differentiate between the idgham and the ikhfa shafawi? Very simple. The idgham, the following letter has a shadda. Look at the meme, he has a shadda. That means it's idgham. It is idgham. Okay? And this one here where the meme doesn't have a sukun sign, that means it's ikhfa. So that's how you would recognize the idgham, ikhfa, shafawi and idhar shafawi in the mushaf. You don't need it for it to be color coded. It's pretty straightforward. طيب, we'll suffice with that. هذا والله أعلم وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد. And we'll go on to the workshops inshallah. Is there any questions? Okay, inshallah we'll suffice with that. Gonna start the workshops inshallah. We'll post the link to the workshop in the private groups inshallah. هذا والله أعلم وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.